Welcome to the session, guys. So in our previous session continuity, our cluster has been installed on our node 2. So in this part, we are going to see the database installation after this database software installation and the database configuration. Okay, guys. Now, root.sh scripts we have executed on both the nodes successfully. What we need to do, these two steps has been done. Cluster has been started up on both the nodes. See, ASM2 is running and ASM1 is also running. Now what we need to do, click on OK button. And once that is done, it is going to update the inventory and it is going to do the remaining things. Okay. ASM storage management and other things. So after we finish the root.sh scripts, those two scripts taken around like 10 minutes on node 1, around 5 to 6 minutes on node 2. And then remaining setups, creating the container database for grid infrastructure, all the repositories which are required for this ASM related storage and other things. It is going to create it now. All the cluster verify related things. It won't take much time. Next 5 to 10 minutes within, it will complete. Complete grid infrastructure is going to complete. Once it is done, we will install our database software. Okay, we already unzipped the software, right, in our previous session 2 or the recorded session 2, part 2. And part 3, the continuation, this one, the grid installation continuation, the part 3, this one, part 4, this one. Creating the container database for grid infrastructure management. Let it run this part. Okay, we'll see this. Okay, cluster almost 100% is completed. The cluster verification utility, that verification it is failed. That's okay, no issues. Click on OK. Okay, everything is done. Only the verification is failed because of 3 warnings which we ignored, right? Failure, some of the daemon is not there, other things. That's where we are getting this issue. If you want to retry, you can retry, but that is fine. Click on next. That will not stop us, okay? Click on yes. Our cluster has been configured successfully. You can see this message. This cluster verification utility, that is a tool where it is going to verification failed means some of the things which we failed, we ignored, right? Ignored and then come out of this, that session. That's where we got that error. Otherwise, our cluster has been grid infrastructure installed successfully. This we need to look into it. That is fine, absolutely fine. Click on close. Our grid installation is successfully completed. 2-node grid. And these are all the log files. If you want to go through it, what are all the things happen in that, we can go through this log file. That's conclude our grid installation. Now we are going to do the database software installation, DB software. How to do that? Go to switch to Oracle user and run the run installer from Oracle home location. Okay, connect to node 1, Oracle user. 192.168.56.101 node 1 with Oracle user. First time we are going to connect it, right? Enter the password, it will save it. Next time onwards, it will not ask. X authority, it will fail it. Let me duplicate this session. I may not get this thing. Okay. Let me move this one. Node 1, set the color to green. Okay. Let me set the green color. Now, yeah, this is the user where we are going to use for our Oracle database installation. This grid user we install our ASM and cluster software. Here we are going to use our RDBMS software and database. Okay, let me maximize. Okay, that is fine. Now go to your Oracle home app, Oracle product 12 to this location where I have unzipped my software. From here we used to run the run installer. For this we need to set up the export path and other things, right? If you are not going to set the path, after installing the software, that will come up automatically, then we'll see it. This run installer will do our database software configuration. Okay, let it be. So here, do you wish to get the notification? I don't want any notification from my Oracle support. Yes. Then configure. Create and configure database. No, I will do only install database software. By using DBCA, we can configure the database. Okay, just a software we can install it. Click next. We are going to install single instance, standalone or RAC. RAC, right? RAC one node is different. We are going to use RAC. Click next. So here it is going to select two instances, RACS node 1 and RACS node 2, two machines. It is going to select. On these two machines, we are installing this software. I'll show you this node. See, we don't have any software as of now on node 2, RACS 2 machine. We have only software is there on our node 1 machine. Okay. After I clicked next, the software is copied from this node to this node. It is going to check the passwordless connectivity now, verifying the setup, installation, everything. If you are not enabling the passwordless connectivity, the software will not copy from RACS node 1 to node 2. That is important, right? Verifying the setup. Once it is done, it will be proceed further. Perfect. Which version you want to install, Enterprise Edition or Standard? Go with Enterprise, you will get more features. Standard Edition, we have very minimized. Small organizations, they can use for standard versions. Licensing cost also compared to that, it's very high compared to the normal one. DB Home. This is the path where we are going to install our software. See, it is going to take it differently. DB Home path. It is not there, right? What is our DB Home? U01 app Oracle product 1220. This is our Oracle home path. This is the location where our Oracle software is located. We should not use the default one. Okay, go with this. And base location, all the database related logs will store in this location under Oracle. This is our Oracle database base. Okay, click next. Now it is going to check for these two paths are available or not. If it is available, then it is going to proceed further. The selected Oracle Home contains directories or files. Are you sure you want to continue? Yes, I want to. 1 second, let me check inside of this. What kind of files it is having? Nothing. No to proceed, no problem. Why? Because we have unzipped the software, right? That's okay. These are all the default groups, expected or default groups, which is there. But I want to change all groups to O install. Even if you want to keep the same groups, that is fine. But I want to change all groups. Even in the grid also, I changed all the groups to O install. Now it is going to check the pre-checks, software installation. It won't take more than 5 minutes. Database software installation is very simple and straightforward. Database configuration, it will take like 10 to 15 minutes because it needs to create table spaces. It needs to create so many things, schemas. It needs to store those data into your disk groups and everything. And before going to this one, we need to create disk groups actually, but I am not going to create in 19C. We can create separate disk groups, but here only everything I'm going to store in single disk group. Everything, OCR files, voting disk, data files, everything I'm going to store into data disk group, single group for everything. It is checking for all the virtual IPs, all the connectivities, everything, proxies and everything. See, again, we are getting the synchronization error fails and other things. There is no fix and checks. Resolve.config while we are installing these things. These are all the network level things. We don't need to bother about these things. Click on ignore and then proceed. Yes. This is our installation. You require minimum 7.5 GB storage is required for the software. And this is the location where your database is going to install. And this is the diagnostic files will store in this location. And the grid options, it is going to install two machines. This server. On these two servers, our database is going to install. This is GUI mode. Whatever we are doing is GUI mode. If you want to do the silent mode, you can do it. Without this, we need to provide the response file and then we can do that. Okay, software is going to install on our node 1 machine, local machine. Once that is done, it will copy all the files to our remote node 2. If you have other nodes, there also it is going to copy. If you are using 3 node, 4 node, 5 node database software, it is copy from node 1 to node 2. Let it done it. Okay, as of now, we don't have any files here. The files will come from this step. Once node 1 is prepared, all these files is copied to remote nodes, and then it is going to configure the software on node 2 also. It won't take much time. 2 to 3 minutes. Let me pause it and then we can come back next to 2-3 minutes. Now we can see the files on node 2. See, till now it is not copied. Now the files are going to copy. 3 lines is there. Now it is 5 lines. What are all the files is there on our node 1? How many files we have? Almost it's 8 lines is there total. So many files. All those files needs to copy from node 1 to node 2. Who is going to take care of it as part of our setup? This one it is going to take it care of it. Copying files to remote node. 3 to 5, 3 to 5. Remaining lines also it should copy. Yeah, 6th line is going to copy. Cluster resource services, all the services which is taking from your grid home locations, wherever it is possible, that is going to take it up and then it is going to set up those libraries. Once the copy is done, node 2 configuration, node 2 database instance configuration is going to start at that time. Yeah, almost. Now it is 7 lines and last few more files is left. Within a few seconds, the copy portion will complete and configuration will be start. Three, four, 7, 8 lines is there. So we have as of now 7 lines. Still it is copying. One more line of files will be there. So that is the part of installation. Do we need to unzip the software on both the nodes? No. Even grid software, database software, we are going to unzip it on one node. As part of that installation and configuration, the nodes will copy internally themselves. That is one other interview question. For that purpose, we need to enable the passwordless connectivity. Copy file is completed. Now configuration of this node 2 is going on. Preparation is done. Then it is going to set up. So 8 lines of the code has been copied. Then it is going to prepare the node 2 instance. Once the setup is done, it will done the base setup. It will take less than 1 minute and it will generate the root.sh scripts. Those we need to run it from node 1 and node 2. Both the nodes we need to run. This root.sh will update the Vara tab for your database. This one will update the inventory. I'll show you that on node 1 first and then node 2. Using root user, we need to execute. Node 1 I have connected to root, execute. See, the database home. Where is your database home? This is my database home where my software is there. And owner of this database installation, Oracle, right? That information is going to update into your user level. That is done. Now, what happened, right? Whenever you are running .vara-env to set up the environment, we are going to give the SID. Automatically, that is going to set up our home path, right? How it is going to do? But we executed the root.sh and that script is going to record your database home location and the owner of the database home. Then only we are going to set the vara-env. And also it is going to update in Vara tab. Vara tab entries will be created. Vara tab. Here, the MGMT database is added. Now we need to add our RDBMS database. ASM is there. Now we need to add this ID manually. This Vara tab will not be there on node 2. Check in Vara tab. etc. Vara tab. See here in Vara tab we have only ASM is there. This demo instance, MGMT is the demo database. That is not there. What will happen when you execute this root.sh? Okay, this will update the Vara tab entries. Okay, Vara tab entries. Now we are eligible to do this Vara tab entries on our RACS node 2 also. So this one we need to put our database instance home and the home of our database where we need to install. So both the scripts we have executed. Environment is set on both the nodes. So no need to overwrite anything. This is a home and Oracle user vara-env set it up. Now click OK. Your installation is successfully finished. From where this user, right? This should come out, right? This should come out from there. Here also we required a swaps. How much swap we required? We have mentioned 2 swaps para provided, dummy one also. Now this is the one. How to install the database? Create a database. Okay, run installer. The log files and other things is stored it here. Log file will be there in temp location. Under Vara inventory, all the logs. Now we are going to create a database. How to create a database? By using dbca command, we are going to configure our database. Okay. Now let me check the services. PS-EF pipe grep small. MGMT database is a dummy database. We are not going to use this anymore. Okay. Our database yet to configure. dbca is our command. It is not set it. How it is going to set up our dbca1? We need to set the export home and then export SID, which SID we want to use. Then only we are going to create our database. Duplicate tab. Here, if I want to dbca, it won't pick it up. Why? Because there is no environment dot Vara env. If you set the environment, for that we need to export the SID. We don't know the SID where we are going to mention. TestDB I want to keep TestDB1, but we want to set the home for this. Where we want to give it? Okay, home path where you have unzipped the software. This one is my home. So we have the base is this, and it is going to set it. Or else you can do one thing: export the path and export home. Everything you want to set up manually. Also, we can do it. From exit from this and restart. I'll do the bash profile which we have, the temporary bash profile. Let me take that bash. Yeah, this profile I can use for temporary purpose. This one for temporarily. I can use this bash profile temporarily and both the nodes. Node 1 and node 2 we need to configure. Node 2, let me connect. Why it is having this value? Node 2 I want to connect 192.168.56.102. I want to connect to Oracle user. Node to Oracle user connected. Done. Let me take a duplicate session of Oracle to perfect. This is my node to set the color to red. Here we used to have one bash profile, bash underscore profile. Here we need to set the path. Okay. Then only we can able to do all these things. Then I don't want use this path option. Okay. Comment it. And also I don't want to use this default one. That is fine. Temp is fine. What is our base location? U01 app Oracle. That is perfectly fine. And the home which I want to mention is, this is my home path where my database is unzipped, right? That one I need to take. Bash profile, we need to set it up. And what database I want to do? TestDB2. This is a node 2, right? I want to give TestDB. TestDB2 is my SID. That's it. Nothing much. Okay, save it. Now bash, compile the bash underscore profile. Done. The same bash profile I want to use it in my cat. Same bash profile I want to use in my node 1 also from Oracle home location. Basic bash underscore profile. You can comment these things. Comment it. I don't want to use that. Comment it. Delete. End. Paste it. But here, what is our SID? Only SID we can change. Node 1, right? So node 1 we can give TestDB1. And home path, base path, everything is fine. If you want to check, we need to check the base path only. Whether we have this date is there or not. Yes, we have. The base path is there. Okay. Now if I can start installation of my database. bash underscore profile. Done. Now I can go to Oracle home path. This I already set. This is my Oracle path. In bash profile, I set it. Now if I can use, not only there, you can go anywhere and just click DBCA. It will work. Why? Because we set the path, what exactly the path is having. I have given my base location. I have set my home location. I have given what is my SID I want to keep. I given that name also. And then I set the path for all the libraries where my libraries is there. DBCA tools or my tools is there in bin location, SQL plus and other tools. I have mentioned the path also. So if I give DBCA, it will automatically redirect you to this location and execute it. That's where we need to mention the path. Environment or bash profile, that or else manually also we can do it. Okay, by using DBCA, I'm going to create the database. Okay, manage, no, right? Create the database. You can use two types of configuration, typical and advanced configuration. Okay, go with advanced configurations, and our database is this one, general purpose OLTP database. It is not the for data warehouse and other custom databases. All are default things. On two machines, I want to configure this. Two machines needs to access. If it is a 4 node, all 4 nodes should be visible. If you want to configure a database in a specific node, you can choose that. Okay. My database should access both the nodes. And what is the global name? Whatever the database name you are going to test DB, right? I'll give the same thing. Are the database name and global database name are both the same? You can give test DB. And test DB is my global name and test DB1 is my SID prefix. And here, this is the part where you are going to create your multi-tenant architecture, PDB CDB1. If you want to create a PDB or multi-tenant architecture, select this one. Only container you want, or else you want to create a PDBs, you can select how many PDBs you want, you can create those many PDBs. Name it here if you want a PDB1, PDB2, PDB0, whatever you want, you can create it. Now I am going to install non-multi-tenant architecture. That's where I'm not going to select this. So if you are uncheck this box, my database will not be non-multi-tenant architecture. Okay, non-multi-tenant 2-node architecture. If you want, you can create this one. Directly it will create it. There is no much difference. Yes, and here it is going to default option. It is going to take our ASM storage and it is going to manage the OMF and everything. Keep it default. Under data, it is going to store your database information. Data is the disk group, right? We have that. Click next. All are default values. We don't need to change anything. FRA, if you want to enable, you can enable it. Archive log mode, if you want to enable it. But later also we can enable it. Later I can enable it. DB vault, security purpose, all are default. I'm not going to configure anything. This is the default SGS size. You can keep normal. Okay. Different types of SGS. If you want to mention manually, this is automatic shared memory. If you want to do manually, you have to keep how much shared pool you have to give, how much buffer cache you want to give. Everything you can give it normally or manually, but system will take automatically the resource, how much it is required. This 2460 MB memory, it is going to assign to your shared pool, buffer cache, Java pool, large pool. All the services, components will share this 2 GB size of memory. If you are going to mention 500 MB, this one, that is a fixed size. Better to go with automatic, right? That's where. Okay. If you want to configuring run cluster verify periodically, you want to check and do this OEM config. I don't want to use this one, express one. Run Cloudflare utility check periodically. This is also, I don't want to do this thing, cluster verify tool. Let me check this one more time. Okay, let me check. If we want to check this box, we need to configure extra port 5520 for OEM, and it is extra thing. Cluster verify keep on, it is going to check the periodically all the verifications and keep on checking. Extra resource is required, so I don't want to use it. In real time, if you want, you can make it these things. And I want to keep my admin password same. Okay, same password for all the admin accounts. Sys and system is my admin accounts. So this one don't change anything. It will create default your database things, default parameters, prerequisites, all the memory things. If any memory is less, it won't create these things. Free space, groups, everything, soft parse, kernel parameters, everything it is going to check. SSH max, min, if it is a less, it won't work out. All the libraries which are required, all those packages, everything it is going to check. If anything is failed, it will show it as here only. We need to fix that issue, then only it will proceed database configuration. ASM integrity. We are using ASM storage, right? The integrity it is going to check. So pre-checks is successfully completed. There is no issue with the pre-checks. See, now it is going to create your sysocs table, system table, undo table, user table. Undo tables too it is going to create. Undo table, each instance one undo. But system sysocs uses common for, if you are using 10 node rack also, only one sysocs table. But if you are using 10 node rack, undo tables will be 10. Each node, one undo table space. And redo log members, it is created almost 4 redo log groups. And control files is multiplex. It is stored in two control files. If one is lost, another will helpful. That is the information. These are all parameter files. Cluster parameter files. Can you name it some of the parameters? They will ask you in interviews. You can say undo table spaces 1 and 2 will be there. And database name, DB create, block size, compatibility, cluster database. This is the only one difference which we have compared to standalone rack. Cluster database is true. And how many instances? In normal instance, we are having only one, right? What is this here? Test DB 11, test DB 12. Instance numbers, it is going to take it. That's okay. 2 instances we have. If you are having 3 instances, 4 instances, that will show it over there. That's it. Finish it. Progress. Now our database is going to create it. Okay. Now it is progressing. TestDB is going to create it. Once all these steps is completed, then our database is configured successfully. Copying the data files, system data files, sysocs, undo, users, everything it is going to configure. If you want to see the log, database configuration log, this is the log. We can monitor it. Database configuration log. And alert log and all, once the files is copied, it's creating and starting Oracle instance. At that time, alert log file will come into the picture. Alert log file not yet configured. It is going to configure that. This will take time around 10 to 15 minutes, or sometime it may take 20 minutes also, the database creation portion. Installation was very quick. Let it progress and then we can wait for some time and then we can see it. Okay, let me pause and then I'll get back once the progress is there. Alert log has been created. This one we can monitor it in the backend also. Okay, this alert log file, you can open it. You can see it, how many times the database is going to bounce, how many times the database is going to do all those things. Why it is taking one extra one? I give an SID one. There I need to give only test DB. That's okay. Next time we can see it. Okay, let it be. Let me check from any one of that node. tail-100f. Any one of that node. Alert log is going to take it up, right? Alert log, ASM background. This is a background process for ASM. All the ASM background process, disks is going to take it up. Some of them is going to fail out and is going to create. Alter temp table space is going to create it. Default temporary table space for users. Default table space is going to assign. All of them is going to take it up. Resizing the files. All these things you can monitor in the background. Let me pause it here, let it complete, and then I'll show you the remaining part. So our database installation is completed within a few minutes. This is our final thing. These two are our admin accounts. Except these two, remaining all admin accounts will be locked. Okay, these two are the admins to perform. If you want to use other admin users, you can unlock it and then you can use it. Okay, here it is. All the system listeners. Local listener is going to keep blank. This one we can use it as and when if you want to modify anything, you can use these two parameters. Local listener, remote listener. Remote listener is our scan. Okay, those we can use it to help. So installation successfully completed. Close this one. So our installation part successfully completed. Now you can see ps-ef-smon ASM. This is my database test db11. 11 means my instance 1 and 12 should be my instance 2. Okay, instance 2. Now check the database status. SQL plus as is DBA. Ideal instance. Why? Because we did not set properly. What is that? SID and other things, right? That's where it is not going to take it properly. Let me take a new session. Duplicate tab. I understand that issue. Why we are getting that? Ideal instance. Perfect. Why? Because in a profile, bash profile, we have given SID is 1, but here it is taking 11, right? That's where I need to mention this. Then only our database environment will be set properly. Done. Now if I can try SQL plus, it will connect it. That is only one issue. In node 2 also we need to modify our bash profile. It is showing 2, right? vi.bash underscore profile. Our SID has been used to, actually I need to give the SID, the test DB, I think. Then only it will somewhere it should come out. Our database name is testdb1 actually. That's where it is going to. Let me set the bash profile. Now, yeah, from any node I can able to query it. Select name comma open underscore mode from v dollar database. TestDB is my database name and read write mode. Perfect. Yeah, and node 1 also we can see it. That's it. If you want to use to manage our ASM and other thing, that is different scenario. This concludes srvctl status database -d testdb. It will show you your status on that RAC level. Database test level 1 instance is running on RACS1 server, RACS2 server. Perfect. This concludes. And also if you want to monitor your cluster services, CRS-CTL stat resources, right? You can use the CRS command from grid or root anywhere. Let me check CRS-CTL stat resource -t. Environment is not set. Okay, environment is not set. If you want to set the environment, set it. Let's say ASM1. Now you can use the command that will set it up. Yes. See, these are all the services which are running now. And if you want to see specific resources on node, what is this? INIT init. Yeah, specific services on this node. Oracle ASM daemon, it is running internet, I mean high availability IP, interconnect high availability IP running, CRSD, CSSD, all are running. Okay, except this thing. This thing for Exadata, you can leave that part. All are running. This is expected and stable. And from that query, we can able to see our database is running. TestDB is running on both the nodes, RACS1 and RACS2. And the home is this one. Perfect. This is conclude our 2-node RAC installation, guys. Okay. Thank you.